So we can check it like the service. So it's a different definition of the URL. We can also check the URL, so we can modify it. So our applications, it is like URL Flyway. We need to be modified, edited, because the application is running with the Flyway, and application is running the local host, and you can say local host like application is a 3031, and this is the globally set, as I said. Those are the new in the how can we go globally set the string Postman application, the Postman testing, that you can simply change it here, then the testing team and then also develop, and the other team can just simply change the IP address and port numbers, and then replicate all the test cases that you have it as a developer. You can also simply give it to them. They will run the same test cases that you are expecting. So we are doing here the globally set the parameters. They will simply change the values, and then the application should work. And then we need to change also here this part, the Flyway 3031, the application running, and then we need to be changed the like here 3031, and then set the value, and it works. So then now we can go there. So we see the 3030, we can check the actuator, the applications. So it is 101030 running, application up. So you see the application is up. That's what we're expecting. The URL, the health of the application. You can check the health of the application, like the health check, update status. So application is up, even though you can go to the Swagger UI docs, that the information that we are looking for. So all the information, the API documentation log is everything API free, and it has all the title, description of the version, and the URL path, input output parameter, and response type, and so on and so forth. Everything is there. So it has a URL for the UI, HTML page. That's we are in the HTML page. I will show you later. And then we have it all the test cases, because in the case now we have a list commands, nothing there. So we can build one with the post method to build the one of the record into the database. So see the database record, we are in here. So entries, that's the entries. And this is all the, so 201, that we define the sequences, 202 and 1, 2, 3, and 4, so on and so forth. If I go to there, the get methods that we define here, so 203 and 202 and 302 and 300, 201 and 202, 200 is there. So all the information is there. So we can build also some user role defined on the we have 200, maybe 201, and define the user role definition with the based on the linking with the user 201. So we can go there, test. So it is working. 101, 102. So expecting what we are expecting is all the test cases. We can run it, we can do it what you like to do. So all the combination of the test cases, all the parameters, and everything is properly working. So we can check it like in the database level, is what we are expecting. So is all the log information that we are tracking, the information that we pass it like user role, is the last command user role, what is the new situation of the user role. So and then if I go to in the database tables levels, and then we can check it like here. So we have a user role, user. So we see there is a 3 record is created, 200, 201, 202, and 203. Today we created a timestamp. We use the auditing tools from the Spring Boot applications, and then all the necessary information. And then we can go also the user role information. We already passed the user role 201, and then it has a field the role is defined. It's nothing more special. So all that works properly. Our migration, our models, our schemas, is properly injected, properly create the database schemas, and then our services is properly tested and properly created. Then let's do the same test with the Swagger UI. So you see the Swagger UI is really professionally handled. You can do some tests with the Swagger UI, making new entries with the Swagger UI. And today everything is slow. So try out that one. So we can try out. So we see the definition. We can simply copy the Postman test cases, test values. We can copy, and then we can do also the here and then. I didn't have enough time to type it, just like simply copied it, and so how it works. That's like simply change it. So you see, 202 is created, so on, so forth, and then so everything is created. So from 7s, then we can go to check the database level, and it is everything is coming properly. So you see the roles is create 204, 5, 6, 7s, and then let's have a check in Swagger UI to check it live. The user role creations. So the role creations, I go this user role creations, let's say try out, and then put it like 207s, and then put it with some values. What in Postman is located. Postman is there. So say the Postman case, copy, and then case, just like simply load timing. Change some 1, 2, 1, 1, and then execute. So execute. So 1, 5, 6, and let's check in the database level. It is becoming what we are expecting. So you see the 207s, it has two value changes and then properties. So that means all that also works what we are looking for, what possibility. That means we checked we defined our schema, our Flyway migration scripts, that all the migration script defined based on the model definition that we had. We defined the Swagger UI information, how it's Swagger UI to be created. We build a jar file, and out of the build the jar files, then we define the versions, create the Docker image, and we see the Docker image there, and then also the login commit to contain image process, and Docker image is created properly, and after that we just simply run the Docker compose up as it just modes, and then application is properly landed. After the application is landing properly, then we have the possibility to check it like all the test cases globally save the environment parameters, and then the other testing department they can test, and they can check it is all the application is properly tested, and then when the testing is done, then you do the final release as external configuration. That's why I say I have a different way of deployment process. I will do the next screencast. How can you deploy the external application, the externally configure things together? I already started, but I will show you later part, other screencasts. How can we manipulate, how can test, how can configure, how can migrate to database schemas, and then as a professional way, that I say. And then this is the test that we already did together. And I believe that you needed more control or more description about each of the parameters. You can check which parameter required or not required, and this is the really good tools for the documentation for the REST API, even though testing for the REST API. So all the models is there and everything properly working. So that means we cover we are looking for the cover part. That's we already covered the part of the deployments. That's we Docker compose that in the Flyway, and we will continue the Docker and Kubernetes based deployment with Liquibase database migration that I already discussed. Just subscribe the channel, write down your comments, idea that will help us